The St. Lucia National Trust is calling on local authorities to explain why lots available at the Cabot development are already being advertised for sale, when to their knowledge the master plan for the development is still yet to be approved. Jacques Wooding reports.
According to chairperson of the St. Lucia National Trust, Alison King, the trust was alarmed to find out that lots which fall within the Cabot development are already being advertised for reservation and sale. King says, given that to the knowledge of the National Trust, discussions are still ongoing regarding the terms of the Cabot lease, it is very alarming to see that developers would continue to advance the development as if it was set in stone.
Sales are being made against a backdrop of no approval for a master plan. So we will, using whatever legal means we have at our disposal, challenge the DCA in terms of approvals that they've already given, and insist that due process be observed going forward.
Adding his voice to these concerns is professional architect, National Trust Councillor Sean Compton. Compton says his discussions with the representatives of Cabot have revealed that the project was approved under the use of an outdated environmental impact assessment, which was prepared prior to the specifications of a previous developer. He says this ought to be rectified before approval is given for the master plan of the development.
We have had, prior to this dialogue with the developer, we reached out to the developer ourselves, and since this week, I personally have actually been speaking with a representative of the developer, really to see how all the two hands can meet, and where we can preserve access for locals, where we can preserve livelihoods, and still have the development happen. What hasn't been mentioned here is that the developer has proceeded to date, Alison, next slide, has proceeded to date with clearing the land based on spurious approvals, but also an outdated environmental impact assessment. This was not an environmental impact assessment that was done specifically for this project. It was done for a previous project, and since then, different factors have emerged.
Compton says the National Trust is not anti-development, but instead the trust is pro-sustainable development. He says many developers in past have taught St. Lucia an important lesson about the relationship between development and environmental degradation.
The master plan shown by Cabot St. Lucia has been heavily scrutinized, with many highlighting the expanse of the 18-hole golf course and resort. Conservationists are also worried about the location of the Cabot development to an Amerindian archaeological site.
We are working with the developers to ensure that if there is this right there, this historical preservation of the cemetery or the burial ground, that it is protected, that no development is built upon it.
Stanislas contends that master plans are not often set in stone and are subject to change.
They come with a master plan, but when it is reviewed by the technical committee in the Ministry of Planning, it goes to the board of the DCA. Many times they have to tweak it and change it because it doesn't conform to the rules, the regulations of the planning unit or the planning laws of St. Lucia.
The minister remains resolute that officials will continue to engage all stakeholders at the various stages of the development.
Now remember, Cabot hasn't gotten approval yet, so there's no approved subdivision for Cabot. That doesn't exist. But yet still, on the Cabot website, we're seeing that land is for sale. And not only is land for sale, but in fact, it has already sold, according to what they say on the website, 22 lots, right? And 20 lots still to be sold, right? Now, if you go on that website, and you can see it's called Featured Listings, that part of that Cabot website, you will actually see the value of the properties that have not been sold. But we have not quite seen, there's only one instance where you're actually seeing the value of the sold properties. So what I've actually done is that I've actually gone through the entire list of Cabot properties. And in fact, there are about 44 identified properties. Now, maybe I should actually show you where those properties are at. And if you could just go to screen just for a moment, You should be familiar with that image right now. That is the 375-acre Cabot site. 317 acres is freehold. In other words, Cabot can own that outright. And we have about 58 acres of Queen's Chain, right? Now, you can, of course, the Queen's Chain is along the coast, and you can see very clearly how even along the coast, you're seeing how the golf course goes right up to a lot of these areas. So within that plan, circled in red, right, is the phase 1 development. And in that phase 1, there are 44 lots, right, as well as the Cabot golf clubhouse, right? So that's in that red area there. The green areas that you can see, those are the fairways. Those are the courses, the holes rather, and there are 18 of them. They're all numbered there. I've also indicated on that plan where Cactus Valley is. I'm showing you where Donkey Beach is. The arrow is pointing it to you there. So for instance, you can see that in the case of Donkey Beach, you have a fairway going right up along Donkey Beach. So when we talk about access to the beach, you can understand that issue there. If you could perhaps take out the bar at the bottom so that we could see all those details. Great, thanks. And then you can also see where Secret Beach is. It's on the southern side there, where you see the arrow. We've also pointed out where Marjorie's Bar is currently located in Cabot's plan on Casabah Beach, as well as the Amerindian Village site. Now, by that, you see that 44 lots there? Let's actually go and see now how that works out in terms of real estate. And I've gotten a schedule here, which we can actually show, I think, as well, for the benefit of persons who may be watching. But basically, the value, right, so this is worked out all the sold lots and the unsold lots. So the unsold lots are the values that we actually know the prices of. And we've actually worked out the rates per square foot. So in other words, lot 8 is actually selling at $313 per square foot. Lot 9 is selling at about $319 per square foot. Right? Lot 15 in the green, right? If you look at that column that says rate per square foot, PSF, that's $325 per square foot, because that lot is actually selling at 1.7 million US dollars, 4.59 million Eastern Caribbean dollars for just 14,108 square feet, right? And we've done the calculations using this tabulation. So for every single of those unsold lots, right? All 20 of those unsold lots up to lot 43, right? So of the total active lots, which you can see right here, the average is $273 per square foot for about 6.3 acres of land. And using that, we have actually worked backwards to be able to figure out the rough estimate of the total sold lots. And based on what we have, it works out to be about $274 per square foot. So the grand total for just those 44 lots, the amount that Cabot stands to make is $174,825,000 for the sale of nearly 15 acres of land, just about 15 acres of land. And remember, that's